Hello and welcome everyone to my Java development with Spring Boot tutorial. Part 2, Add Spring Boot Dependency, Controller and Service. Next, we are going to add the Spring Boot dependency. Before we do that, we take a look at the external dependency list. Let's refresh this. Okay, so we only have a few jar files. Okay, so now we add Spring Boot Starter Web 2.7.12. We refresh and we see a longer list. So now we see that by adding this one line of dependency, the Spring Boot bring over for us many other Spring Framework library and Spring Boot libraries. So we can see that Spring Web 5.3.27 is here. Spring Boot autoconfig is 2.7.12. We see many other things like Spring AOP, Spring Beans, Spring Expression, Spring Core 5.3.7.27. So we can say that Spring Boot 2.7.12 is using Spring Framework version 5.3.27. Now let's create a main package. And we create also together the controller and service package. First, we are going to add the main class, so we can annotate it as a Spring Boot application. Project 1 app. We need to annotate with Spring Boot application. And tell Spring application to run our class. We misspell Spring Boot app project app. Okay, we misspelled this one. Let's rename it. Okay, so now we have a Spring Boot application set up. Let's run it by right-clicking on here and do debug as and debug configuration. So we can create a new configuration for that. New configuration. So nice. So it knows our project with this main class. So it's pre-populated for us. Can start debug now. So now it's up and running. It says that started Spring Boot Project 1 app in 3.91 seconds. And let's see, it says that it's using Java 11, running on port 8080 HTTP Tomcat 9, and the context path is empty. We can customize the context path and also the port number. Let's do that by adding an application.property file to this folder. Okay, so that folder is actually this one in the file system. So in here, I right click and I add a file called application.properties. So I'm going to customize the context path to be symbol context, and the server port I want to be 8082 instead of 8080. I save and I rerun the application. So now we can see that the port is changed to 8082 and the context path is changed to symbol context. So now let's have a little bit more fun. So we create a controller, new class, and we make a controller called simple controller. We need to annotate this controller as REST controller. And also we would like to have a root mapping for the endpoint, for all endpoint in this controller. Mapping. The root is symbol. We don't want this. By accident we select. Now we are going to add a new endpoint called hello, just a get endpoint. So we do get mapping. So this method will return a string. That is it. Now we have a controller. Let's restart the application. So it's up in 3.9999 seconds. So we can set a breakpoint in here and do a test using the Postman. In Postman, we add a request, and the request name is, let's say, symbol get. Okay, so we know that we are running in HTTP as we see before. HTTP from the log, it said HTTP, right? For 8082. And we know that we are running in localhost. So in here we have localhost AD82 slash, look at the context path, we have symbol context. So that's why we have symbol context here. And then we also take a look at the controller. We have symbol is the root for this controller. And our hello endpoint is hello. Now we send. So it hit the breakpoint right here. So we know that it's really detect this endpoint correctly. So let it go. Now we see hello Spring Boot 2.7.12. Very good. So we have the controller and with a symbol endpoint hello. Next, we are going to create a service called symbol service. This service has a method called hello, return a string. We then create an implementation for the symbol service interface. We are going to annotate this class as service. So now we tell the Spring Framework that this is a service, so it will instantiate a singleton object for us and use as a service, so we can auto-wire it in anywhere else we want to use. For example, in the controller class that we are going to use soon. So now go back to the symbol controller. We are going to use auto-wire. We will call that symbol service that hello method. And we restart the application. Okay, so now from the Postman we can send the same request again, but this text should be changed. So now the text is from the hello Spring Boot 2.7.12 from the symbol service. So that is text returned from the symbol service. So we have successfully added a servers and auto wire that servers to the in the symbol controller. So this concludes the work we have done for part 2. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you will return to view my other video on part 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you again. Bye bye.